तत्पुरुषाय विद्महे वक्रतुण्डाय धीमहि तन्नो दन्तिः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ जयन्ती मंगलकाली भद्रकाली कपालिनी दुर्गा क्षमा शिवधात्री स्वाहा स्वादा नमोस्तुते। ॐ भूर्भुवस्सुवः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ शांति शांति शांति। Sairam Lin, Sairam from Malaysia.
Sairam Sharma, Sairam from New Zealand, and happy Easwaramma Day to all. Swami, we thank you for giving Sharma and I this blessed opportunity to speak of your mother's birthday, which is commemorated now every year on May the 6th, because that was the day that the physical body first christened or named as Namagiri Amma at the time of her birth, and she was known as Namagiri Amma up until the time of her marriage. Now, at the time of her marriage, Easwaramma's paternal grandfather, the Swami's grandfather, Kundama Raju, after Easwaramma's marriage, he, being a great man of wisdom known as a Jnani, and Kundama Raju, Swami's grandfather, spent a lot of time with a well-known Avadut, Venkavduta, who quite often appeared in the area and spent time with Swami's grandfather, giving him precious spiritual knowledge, not only of the higher dimensions, but of Swami's impending birth. And so Swami's grandfather was his first devotee, you see. And after Easwaramma's marriage, and of course she was still being known as Namagiri Amma, and this grandfather had been blessed with a vision of the future. And he began calling her Easwaramma. In other words, the mother of Easwara. And he used to actually worship this Abdut, by the way. Now, she was a very docile and loving child. She did all the jobs that were given to her. One of them was taking the cows down to Chitravati River to drink and to also gather grasses for the cows. And of course, they lived down not too far from the river. Those of you who have been to Puttaparthi will have seen the location where the original home was, where there is now a Shiva shrine. Now, when Swami when he made his declaration at age 14, he already had a small group of devotees around him, village people. And when Easwaramma began to realize that Swami was not going to be home very much, already he was receiving invitations from Maharajas and office bearers in the government to come and stay with them, she became very worried that she would lose her boy. And she said, Swami, please grant my wish that you will always make your home here in Puttaparthi. No matter where you go, please always return to Parthi. And Swami gladly granted her that wish. Indeed, he did take her with him on a number of journeys, and this certainly broadened her outlook on life. And she began to grow spiritually even more. And she would soon begin to think of ways that she could request Swami to grant further wishes of hers. And her wishes were always for those that she saw who were suffering or who did not have what they deserved. And it was never for herself. And so Swami, like she would say, Swami, we really need, the children here in Puttaparthi, they have to walk all the way to Bukkapatnam to go to primary school. Swami, we really need a primary school here. Swami said, done. She said, Swami, another time, we really need a little local hospital here. The people have no medical attention where they can go. Swami said, done. And he established the Sri Sathya Sai Puttaparthi General Hospital. Again, she said, Swami, the women, she felt very strongly for the girl child and for the young woman. She said, Swami, these girls need higher education. What can we do? Can we establish a college? Swami said, done. He established Anantapur Women's College, the first deemed university for women in India. What a tremendous accomplishment. And it didn't end there. Easwaramma was always asking for things for others. She was the soul of compassion and motherly love. And it wasn't for nothing that she was the vehicle, the physical body chosen to bring into this world the Lord. Indeed, during one little gathering, informal gathering with his mother, Swami was asked, Swami, was yours a natural birth, like a worldly birth, or was it a divine birth? And there are two Sanskrit words for this, which I cannot pronounce properly, but one of them means that you, when you are in utero, you are enveloped in the amniotic fluid, which is water. That is like a worldly birth, which comes about through relations between the man and the woman, or a divine birth where the fetus is surrounded with divine milk. And Swami said lovingly to the devoter, there's my mother, you ask her. Was my birth a worldly birth or was it a divine birth? And Mother Easwaramma replied, it was a divine birth. The fetus was surrounded with divine milk. We can't begin to, imagine such a profound spiritual truth, but this is what it is like when you are discovering what divine beings are really like. And indeed, Swami let it be known that both his parents had come from the realm of Vaikuntha, that they were highly evolved divine souls who had taken birth on this earth for the express purpose of acting as his worldly mother and father. But their true home was the divine realm of Lord Vishnu, known as Vaikuntha. And in that realm, the inhabitants, Swami said, wear a most beautiful saffron-colored cloth with gold. Their garments are made like this. So we can see that from the very beginning, even though she was born as a simple village girl into a home that was not wealthy at all, they were actually quite poor. The building that they lived in was a very simple mud brick building with a thatched roof, and the father, Swami's father, ran a small sort of grocery store. And the family were all very musically inclined and loved putting on impromptu performances. Musical instruments hung on the wall, and these, as many of you know, the story is that these instruments played by themselves at night, the most divine celestial music, while Swami was in utero, while Easwaramma was pregnant. Swami said, the significance of Easwaramma Day is that it is also celebrated as Children's Day. And this is a day when little children are to be reminded of an ideal, a day when Easwaramma presented an ideal. And Swami said, no one can escape death, but the aim of everyone should be to remind oneself at the time of death of the divine, or to have some holy or sacred thoughts while they were making their transition to the next life. The importance of this day is known to many, and Professor Kasturi also spoke about this. There is a saying in Telugu, the proof of the good is the way they die. Genuine devotion is evidenced in the last moments, and Swami then pointed out a small incident concerning the goodness of Easwaramma. The summer classes were on in Bangalore for the summer course, and in the morning at 7, breakfast had to be served to the students. They went round doing the Naga Sankirtan, which is the street singing of spiritual songs, and they returned at 6. Swami gave them darshan at the close of Sankirtan, and then he went for his bath. Meanwhile, Easwaramma had finished her bath, and she drank her coffee as usual quite happily, and took her seat on the inner veranda. All of a sudden, proceeding to the bathroom, she cried out, "Swami, Swami, Swami," 3 times. And at this, Swami responded, "I am coming, coming." And within that period, she breathed her last. What greater sign of goodness is needed? She had no need to be served or waited on or nursed in her last years. This happens, Swami says, for very few. And the fact that the thought of Swami will come to the memory at that time for only a very few. He said, most people, when they are on the point of death, their mind will usually seek and stay on some object or another, some jewelry or valuables. So from the ground floor, Easwaramma called, "Swami, Swami," and he said, "Coming, coming," and she was gone, just like that. She had left the body. Swami said it was like the elephant's calling, and the Lord proceeding to bless it. The 2 wires between Easwaramma and the Lord achieving connection and her release from the body happened instantaneously. There was no suffering. There was no languishing in bed for weeks and weeks or in the hospital. It was instantaneous. Swami said, this is the authentic consummation that life must strive for. Beside Easwaramma, at that time of her passing, she had her daughter, Venkama, and her granddaughter, Shailaja, but she called out only for Swami. Getting this yearning at the final moment is the fruit of holy purity. It is the sign of an ideal, adorable life. Such attitude must emerge of its own accord, and not by means of some external force. In other words, it must come straight from the heart at the moment of passing to call out to Swami or to call out to your Lord. And this is recorded in Sathya Sai Speaks, volume 16, page 61-62. Wishing you a most blessed and holy Easwaramma Day. It is very touching to me that Easwaramma Day falls during the month of May, which is also the month in which we Westerners celebrate Mother's Day. This day, it's always in the 2nd week of May. And Mother's Day for us will be in just 1 week on Sunday, on the 12th. But today, being the 6th of May, we are remembering the goodness and the, as Swami said, adorableness of his Divine Mother. Om Shri Sai Ram.
Om Shri Sai Ram. Om Tasmat Karunya Bhavena Rakcha Sai Ishvara. Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Sai Ishvara Arpanamastu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Asato Ma Satgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.